well, it's also a very good time to get a grip as far as the technicals of the market are concerned. Sacchitanand Uttekar from Tradebulls joins us on the show. Sacchitanand, thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon to you. Do you feel that there is now more upside as far as the Nifty is concerned? Can we scale higher, or do you feel we could see some moderation at current levels?
Good afternoon, Vivek. Good afternoon, Mangalam. And clearly, I think the bias for the market remains positive. We are expecting that this overall rally would stretch towards 25,500, 25,630 kind of a zone. But at least for the next couple of trading sessions, as Mangalam has already pointed out, the data is indicating some range-bound action. Now, if you look at the Nifty, 25,200 looks like a confident area for call writers, but on the lower side, 25,000 looks like a very dependable support. So I think it's better to wait for a decline and redeploy some long positions. One can keep a stop loss at 24,970 on a closing basis and wait for the declines to accumulate further longs. Eventually, we do see the Nifty, surpassing this particular hurdle as well and scaling higher towards 25,550, 25,630 kind of a zone. When we look at Nifty Bank, even here, if you look at the 60 minutes data, the RSI is showing signs of divergence. So probably we may see the Nifty Bank, getting locked into a range of 57,000 on the higher side. And there's a good support somewhere close to around 56,200. So even here, a buy and declines strategy would be much more fruitful. When we look at both the indices, there are no traces of any major reversals. Probably for next couple of trading sessions, we may see sideways action. But declines are something which will be very meaningful, and one should retain their long positions. When it comes to Nifty, the stop loss should be placed at 24,970.
All right, Sachi, just hang in there. We'll come back to you for your stock picks. But meanwhile, just keep an eye out on Avenue Supermarts, DMart that is, because in the last few minutes or so, there have been multiple large trades on Avenue Supermarts where 0.2% equity has changed hands, and as a result of which the stock has taken a sharp knock lower. 0.2% equity for DMart equates to close to around 633 crore rupees, though because it is 0.2% equity, unfortunately, over the reporting data, we may not get the participants of this large trade. But key to know that nearly 75% of the equity is held by promoters, and as of March, we have domestic institutional investors holding about 9% stake in the company, of which the largest is ICICI Pru, close to 3%. We have FIIs that hold about 8% as well. And in terms of individuals, we have Ignatius Naval Narona, who is basically the outgoing MD CEO of Avenue Supermarts, who holds about 1.94% stake. Over the last 8 or 9 quarters, his stake has been coming down by a smidge, 0.05, 0.04 odd percent. So let's see, where this goes from here, who perhaps the participants of this large trade would be. Unfortunately, because it is just 0.2% equity, it won't be reported by norm, but I'm sure market intelligence will do their job and we'll try and find out who the sellers or participants on that deal are. DMAT lower by about 4% on the back of that 600 crore large trade. But with that, yes, Vivek?
I want to check if Sacchitanand is there for his individual picks, or we could move. Yeah. Sacchitanand, thank you so much for waiting. DMart at the day's lowest point. Now, do you have a view over there? And what are your individual trades for the day?
Vivek, I think when we look at DMart, the selling pressure has been very significant. Again, the stock is trending below its 200-day exponential moving average. Now, on a closing basis, the level at around 4,040 would be very critical. In case if we see a closing below the same, we may see an extension of this particular move on the lower side. The immediate support after 4,040 is placed somewhere close to around 3,800. So the bias for this particular stock as of now remains neutral to negative. But when we look at the other pockets of strength, what we have observed is that the power stocks are, significantly outperforming. And here, Torrent Power is one particular stock which has hit our radar. Now, if you look at the overall structure, it looks like a consolidation. But last 2 trading sessions, we have seen a significant long OI addition here. The put writing base at 1400 has been very significant, and when we look at the RSI, it has managed to sustain and give a close above that 50 mark. So, which is an indication there could be a strong revival in this particular counter, and hence we are recommending building long positions here with a stop loss at 1405 for a positional target of around 1480. The other stock is Havels. Now, if you look at the last three trading sessions, there has been a very strong, significant reversal. It looks like a V pattern breakout, plus a short covering, which is evident. In fact, if you look at the weekly charts, there was a weekly bullish hammer formation last week. This particular hammer formation is indicating that there could be further.
Right.
So we are expecting a move towards 1660 in Havels, and we are recommending building long positions here, keeping a stop loss at 1548.
All right, we take that point. Thank you so much for joining in, Sachi. Wish you good trading session ahead. But with that, let's introduce you to something.